So today I have a story to tell you that involves the sweet potatoes that I'm going to show you how to make. So Saturday was the annual Richmond Vegetarian Festival. For the past 3 years, they've had a Iron Chef competition, and this year they renamed it Food Fight. So I was planning to go, and I was actually going to volunteer with Vegan Outreach for about an hour or so. And Friday I was actually off from work, and I got a text message around 4 o'clock from a friend of mine who said, did someone contact you about the food fight participating in the food fight competition? And I was like, no. And he was like, would you be willing? I said, depends on what you mean by participating. And so I realized that I missed the call and I hadn't checked my messages yet. And so I returned the call, which was about this request. And I found out that they originally were going to ask me to be a judge, which would have been right up my alley. But they filled all the judge slots, and one of the contestants actually had an emergency and couldn't participate. So they wanted to know if I would be willing to fill in to compete. I said, no, I don't think I can do that. No. No. And he said, Mike said, do you want to think about it for an hour or so? I was like, no, I don't think I can do that. And then my friend Brenda got on the phone and she laid it on thick. I mean, she gave me the biggest motivational speech ever. And by the time she was done with me, I couldn't say no. So needless to say, my nerves were shot. And I was just frantic, and I was trying to find a sous chef, but nobody I knew came through for me. So I just showed up, and luckily Mike actually found one of the volunteers who was willing to help me out, and his name is Mike also. Thank you so much, Mike, if you're watching. Oh, he was great. And so I really lucked out because the secret ingredient was sweet potatoes. Well, if you've been watching my channel, you know I've already done a few things with sweet potatoes, and I've actually been roasting them every week for at least probably about the last month or so. So I had a few ideas about what I could do with sweet potatoes. Presentation, 0 points. Didn't get any points on presentation. Probably not a lot of points on originality because I didn't plate them with anything. You know, it was just these dishes. So I did the sweet potatoes and apples, I did the sweet potato puree, and I did the roasted sweet potatoes that I'm going to show you how to make today. And before we get on with the recipe, I just want to give a shout out to anyone who's watching who was actually there and cheered for me in the audience. That made me feel so good. I was just so nervous, and it flew by. We had an hour and very limited equipment, like 3 burners, a toaster oven, which is what I used to roast my potatoes in, a limited pantry, and a food processor. So very, lots of constraints, but with constraints comes creativity. So what I did for those recipes are a little bit different from what you've seen on the channel. And for the sweet potatoes that I did yesterday, I actually only seasoned them with salt. I think I had cumin and I used basil. That's all. And the judges really like them. But today I'm going to show you what I use, my spice mix that I usually use. So you can go simple, you can go complicated, but the technique or the actual recipe itself is pretty simple. So anyway, let's get on with it. Preheat your oven to 400. I use 2 pounds of sweet potatoes for this recipe because that's what fits kind of in a single layer in my pan. You might be able to fit 2.5 to 3 pounds for yours. And I dice them. I think this helps them cook a little bit faster. Plus, I think they're cuter and more fun to eat like this. Put them on a baking sheet and pour 1 tablespoon of canola oil on them. Rub it in with your hands to make sure everything is coated. For the seasoning, I use 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt, a half teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And I like to mix the seasonings first so that they're evenly distributed on the potatoes and every bite has all of that flavor in it. Pour the mix over the potatoes and rub it in really well. You're gonna roast the potatoes for 20 minutes. And after about 10 minutes, go ahead and flip them. These potatoes are gonna have a little bite. They're gonna be almost kind of crunchy, maybe slightly underdone for some people, but some people actually prefer that texture. So if you know anyone who has texture issues with sweet potatoes, they might really like this recipe. But if you want them to be a little bit softer, cook them for a little bit longer. I wouldn't go past 30 minutes though. Thanks for watching Vegan Cooking with Love. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe so you get my new videos, and check out some of my other ones while you're here. See you next time.